The loss of a dear one is often very hard to deal with. The emotions run over for Miss Victoria Adesonya, remembering the death of not one, but two siblings, both also albinos, who died due to skin cancer. There is an estimated 20 million albinos in Nigeria, although there is no specific data on the number of persons living with albinism in Nigeria. The prevalence rate of albinism is classified as one of the highest in the world.
Albinism is a group of inherited diseases, recessively inherited disease. Each parent must be a carrier of the gene that causes albinism. So the father cannot blame the mother cannot blame the father. Both of them, just like sickle cell disease, that the two parents contribute to produce a sickle cell child. In the same manner, the two parents contribute to produce an albino child.
Due to climate change, albinos run a higher risk of having skin cancer due to a higher ultraviolet rays.
The skin cancer that people hammer on, in albinism is a disaster. But the people that are prone to skin cancers, the albinos that are prone to skin cancer, unfortunately, are the very beautiful albinos. Those beautiful albinos that do not form pigments. They do not form pigments, they are paper white, they look the color of beautiful Europeans. So when you find them and you tell them to cover up, it's a big task. They don't want to cover up because they want to show off their beautiful skin, and they are indeed beautiful. So to ask them to wear long sleeve dress, especially the girls, to wear hats that will cover their face, to wear goggles, they just don't want it. They resist it.
I'm 9 years old. Everybody in my class are friends. I like my color because I am old. When people see me on the road, they'll be calling me Oyibo Pepe. In the afternoon, my mom always want me not to play in the sun. I'm no more going under the sun without umbrella.
If undetected early, little deadly skin lesions become burrowing skin cancers eating into the albino skin. When untreated early, the result is death.
Once this skin cancer starts, it spread rapidly and eat up the skin. If not quickly clipped and removed, it will just go along that line and destroy all the skin on that line.
For example, we have a very bad case of skin cancer now on admission at lawsuit. The patient is still hospitalized, where one of the eyes is being inoculated along with the repair of the skin cancer. We have diverse skin cancer coming up now.
The first thing that happens in skin cancer is you get a sun done. Okay, you get a sun done, and with repeated sun duns, you find there is DNA damage. With every sun done, you get DNA damage. And after you have repeated DNA damage, the skin can no longer repair itself. That means they have some wrinkles, and after that stage you may develop solar keratosis. That means the stratified epithelium, the honey layers, that outermost layer of the skin, is getting abnormal. It's no longer able to restore itself to normal because of repeated assault of the sun. So after the period of solar keratosis, then you may either develop one of three things. You may develop a Bowen's disease, which is one superficial cancer. You may develop a basal cell carcinoma, which is a type of cancer that is called rodent ulcer. Rodent ulcer because it stays in one spot. It does not spread. It stays in one spot and starts to eat the skin on that one spot. That's why it's called rodent. Just like the rats eats the yam from one spot continues to eat the yam until it borrows through the yam. The same thing is what BCC, basal cell carcinoma, or rodent suicide does. Then you have the very severe, which is squamous cell carcinoma. That's the aggressive one that spreads like cancer all over the place, that can even go beyond the skin to bones to other tissues. There is a fourth type of malignancy which is called melanoma. Melanoma is a cancer of the melanin cell, but because the albinos, although they have melanin, they have melanocytes, a cancer of the melanocyte cell. The melanocyte cell is the cell that produces melanin. Albinos have melanocytes, that is the cells that produce melanin, but they cannot produce melanin because one enzyme is missing in their system. But this cell, this melanocyte cell, can still produce cancer despite the fact that it doesn't have melanin. But it's not common amongst our own albinos here. But in other parts of the world, they have, documented a few melanomas, and that's the most aggressive cancer of the skin. If you develop melanoma without major intervention, the person will be dead in 6 months. But the ones that bother our albinos here majorly are the squamous cell carcinoma and the basal cell carcinoma.
Albinism is classified as a disability because there are numerous physical challenges, especially visual impairment, associated with the condition.
Keep saying, why is albino being grouped under disability? I told them we have a lot of challenges. Even with the weather itself now, because of the harmful rays of the sun on the skin, we have a lot of albinos coming up with skin cancer.
Albinos are, because of the lack of pigments in their skin, they are excessively sensitive to ultraviolet radiation. And not just ultraviolet radiation, also infrared radiation. Infrared radiation from heat and ultraviolet radiation from the sun. So they're doubly at risk. And that implies that they cannot work in an environment of excessive heat, and they cannot thrive in an environment of excessive sunlight.
Not all jobs are suitable for albinos because of their sensitivity to the rays of the sun. And without good jobs, many albinos are forced to take up menial jobs, which may expose them to sun, and the chances of skin cancer increases.
We used to cancel them. Once we come across an albino, we cancel them and find out the nature of their job. We make them realize the importance of having a job that takes them away from direct exposure to sunshine or sun rays. Because when they come down with cancer, all their income for years will not be able to salvage their life.
The education I have now is in the school circle, but I was in school or I dropped out. I think it was important for you. Why did you drop out? It was because of financial challenges. When I was hawking, when I was in Port Harcourt, I was hawking these Nigerian movies. Whenever I walk under the sun without an umbrella, after I come back, my skin will be very red and it will be itching me. When I scratch it, the skin will be hot. Sometimes it lasts like 3 days before it will clear off.
Just almost only like 16,000. Well, we have it just for 3 months. 3 months. After 3 months, it expires. It's not working. It's not convenient. I'm not working. I have a school before, but this clam down. So I don't have anything doing now. I'm staying with my mom because of that condition. It's really good to take care of me.
Undetected and untreated cancer in the early stages can lead to death of an albino. This is a dicey situation. 49% of Nigerians live in absolute poverty, and albinos fall into this category also, especially without quality education up to tertiary level. As with Miss Hope, many drop out of school due to poor eyesight or lack of funds.
The major challenge we have is 1, ignorance, 2, poverty to the extent that they cannot afford to buy sun protection lotion. For an albino with this race in this part of the world, we need at least 50 plus for an adult. The cheapest will go for like 2,005, and you know, if it's used the way it ought to use, within 2 weeks the bottle will be used. This FUDs that protects that we can use in treating pre-cancerous lesions, that is lesions that can grow into cancer. The cheapest for a tube of, is it 15 gram or 10 gram, like the size of a small toothpaste, goes for like 15,000 plus. That's fluorouracil 5%. So how many albino can afford that?
She has something we thought is a ball in the ear. It's one ear that she cannot put on earring. The hair started bringing mucus, but it got to a certain stage. My dear sister, there's something that is in her shoulder and her back. We thought it's an arrow. Very big here and there. And it will be smelling, really smelling gum. So we use a lemon, go to hospital and go to this chemist, buy stuff things, you saw and something. We are just shooting outside. Just know that thing is inside. Sister was fat, a little bit fatter than me. She just becoming lean. So the last one that happened is that she came. And the thing just, when the thing burst, just expanded. So she gave up August, July 4, 2012.
There's a difference between the cost of an item and the value of an item. So if you let someone to understand the value of what they need to procure, they will procure it. But if you are just telling them the costs, they are going to say, I can't afford it. So if you explain to an albino that if you can find 13,000 to buy this cream, it will save you from losing your arm. So that person has to decide whether the cost of his or her arm is more or less than 13,000.
There are popular myths on albinism. One is that cancer in albinos is caused by eating salt. Another is that cancer in albinos is a spiritual attack that is a result of witchcraft or dark magic. I fact-checked this by asking the professionals.
With ignorance that we believe everything is evil arrow. I've seen a woman, she was brought to the hospital where I have privilege of meeting with her and counseling her. She says she's been to several spiritual houses because by the time she comes to the hospital, it was too late. She died 2 days after. Salt have iodine. Albinos can eat salt. It's not by eating salt. It's by avoiding the sunshine. It's the sun rays that damages albino skin. So we saw a lot of albinos coming up with disease conditions due to goiter, due to lack of iodine, because they were not eating salt right from birth. Living with albinism requires both medical and surgical interventions, not spiritual interventions.
2 days to the death of my sister, my mother was taken away because they were staying together. And the situation of my sister is so critical that they had to take my mom away from this place. So they took him away. They took her away. They took her away on Monday. That time my sister died Tuesday stroke Wednesday of that week. So when she was brought back, she cannot hold it. And there's not much people with her. So that resulted in her getting stroke. So my brother, he worked in that port to death. Nigeria Aviation Awareness. So I can see that sun and heat. So my brother is nowhere is working. Times he has to be in sun. So he worked in that place. I just discovered that I have one of this actually. The thing just repeated that in the like this. In this place, the cancer just came out so big, very big, that over one of the stars. So then you cannot walk again. You now get to the stage of blood again. As well said that when the thing will start, the blood will just be gushing out, gushing out, gushing out, gushing out. That cancer something is a deadly disease. Once it started, it will be running. My sister died 2012, July 4. So our first born, because of cancer again, died. My mom doesn't know that her son has again died of cancer.
I know what my mom went through, and I know what I went through. I know what I'm still going through living with albinism. I do not wish that for my boys. It's not a curse or a death sentence, but it can be financially and emotionally, even spiritually draining, because sometimes the name calling, the stares, the fact that people think you do not deserve or you do not earn what you have, it's ridiculous. And like I always tell myself that, oh my God, my sons will ask me one day, Mommy, why are you different? Or one day my boys will go to school and then their classmates will be like, why is your mom different? Or they will be like some stare, and then my boys will be uncomfortable. So now as a mom, I'm educating myself that it will get to a point where this will happen to my boys and I'll have to explain the whole albinism to them. And really, a dark-skinned mom will never do that. You will just blend in. But I would have to teach my kids albinism at some point. I would just advise a dark-skinned person to try and understand what albinism is. It's not a curse. It's not a disease. It's just genetics. It's just the simple absence of melanin. So just try to love and respect a person living with albinism. That's all we're asking for. We're not asking for pity or for favors. Just respect, love, that's all.
With better education comes a better life and a better standard of living. The government owes a responsibility to every Nigerian and to every person living with albinism to provide conducive living environment so as to protect them from skin cancers. The government can also provide subsidized or even free FUDs and sunscreens for albinos worldwide. A special health fund should also be created to support persons living with albinism who have a need for surgery. Prevention is always better and cheaper than cure.
Prevention is better and cheaper than cure. And what does the government need to do to prevent the tragedy of skin cancer in albinism? First is to make sure that we know the number. At the moment, like you said, we do not know the number of albinos that we have because there is nowhere where albinism is recorded in birth registries. So for good planning, you have to have good statistics. You need to know how many you are. So what we do for them is to try and get them to be gainfully employed. Like, what can they gainfully do? What can we ask them to do that is good for them to earn some income? there are only a very few albinos that cannot earn an income. Very few. You know, if their talents are properly channeled, majority of them can earn a living.
Now, let's do a quick recap. Fact 1. About 20 million Nigerians live with albinism, and the genes are contributed by both parents, just like in sickle cell. Fact 2. Skin cancers in albinos is not caused by spiritual attack or witchcraft. Early detection and treatment of skin cancer would save the life of an albino. Fact 3. Skin cancer in albinos is caused by continuous exposure to the ultraviolet rays of the sun and not by eating salt.